What is up, YouTube?
Today we're going to be going over Fenrir support.
Because it's good. It's real good.
And just because you get teammates who build shit like Masamune and Crusher and feed in your rank games doesn't mean that Fenrir support is bad. That's bad, and they're bad.
But not Fenrir support, and we're going to explain why. Stay tuned.
Alright, first things first. If we're going to explain why Fenrir support is good, we have to address the three core items that make him so good. These three items are Horrific Emblem, Lono's Mask, and Oni Hunter's Garb. Let's take a look at these items a little closer so we can explain why.
This is Horrific Emblem. It slows the movement speed of all enemy gods within 35 units by 40% and their attack speed by 25% for 5 seconds. And unfortunately, I'm sure most of you don't upgrade your relics, but you should, because this item reduces the damage dealt by gods who are hit with it by 20%. This is super good for Fenrir because it stacks well with another item on our list that we'll be going over next.
Next, we're going to be talking about Lono's Mask. Lono's Mask is a key item in the build and separates Fenrir from other supports in that only assassins, hunters, and mages can purchase it. Guardians can't buy it. The item in itself offers 200 health, 35 magical and physical protections, as well as 20% crowd control reduction. That's not all though. This item makes you take 20% less damage. 20% of that shit hitting you, gone. You do have to sacrifice some damage and some healing, but you don't need to damage anybody. You can't heal anyone other than yourself, so who cares?
Last up on our list is Oni Hunter's Garb. This item gives you 100 health, 60 magical protection, 30 MP5, and 20% crowd control reduction. But what really shines in this item is its passive. For each enemy god within 55 units of you, you gain a stack of 3% damage mitigation, and this caps at 3 stacks. So that means if you're in the middle of a team fight, you have a total of 9% damage mitigation. Now let's look at it from a technical standpoint. If a Raw hit you with a Celestial Beam for 500 damage while you had 9% mitigations and 40 protections, which is actually kind of low considering base protections, it would only deal 325 damage after everything is considered. That's over 100 damage off the initial attack. Oni Hunter Garb isn't just good for Fenrir support, it's just a good item in general.
Those are just some of the core items that make him a great support. Now let's take a look at his kit. Fenrir's passive, Unbound Runes, grants his abilities extra effects upon reaching 5 runes or 5 basic attacks before these cast abilities. His first ability, the Big Hype ability, with a full passive stuns everyone you hit for 1 second. Having this aggressive CC so early is great for buff control and can carry you into a strong mid-game lead. His second ability, Seething Howl, is a physical buff that scales from 20 power up to 80 at max for 6 seconds, which is great for chiseling towers. You also get 35% lifesteal during this duration. Straight up will save your life. Can't hit an auto? Try your 3! Brutalize locks onto your opponent for 4 strikes while making you immune to knockups, and gives you 5 of each protection plus 1 per level. Also, at full runes, this ability does AoE damage, so you can clear anything you want. His ult is insane, and a big reason he fits into this role so well. Go ahead and get that out of the way. His movement speed is increased by 50%, so you'll catch anyone. Whoever you catch is stuck there for 2 seconds, so your whole team can just wail on him, and at full runes, his protections are doubled. You'll be close to unkillable in your ult full build, no doubt. To show that playing Fenrir in the support role isn't too outlandish, we're going to go over the base stats of him and a popular support god to show some of the similarities between the two and disprove any misinformation you have. So level 1, Fenrir has 533 base health, and Terra has 595. Pretty close by comparison. Terra can take about 1 more auto, give or take. Not a huge deal. At full level, Fenrir has 2015 health while Terra has 2400. And while I'll admit 385 is a decent amount difference on paper, it's still about 1 basic attack or ability difference, and this isn't even considering items. At level 1, Fenrir has 17 physical and 31 magical protections, and Terra has 23 physical and 31 magical protections. They have the same amount of magical protections, and Terra only has 6 more physical protections. Again, really close. At level 20, they still have the same base magical protections, and Terra only has 10 more physical protections. This still isn't a huge deal considering that no items are in play here. HP 5 and MP 5 won't play a huge role in this other than the early game. And in this case, the only difference between the two is by a decimal. Not a huge deal at all.
Now that we get the base stats out of the way, we threw together a couple of builds to show a direct comparison at level 20 between the two gods. The final total health for Fenrir is 2,865, while Terra sits at 2,950. Only 85 health difference at full build. Fenrir tops out at 209 physical protections, while Terra has 244. There is a little bit of sway in Terra's favor when it comes to physical protections. When you look at Fenrir's 263 magical protections versus Terra's 228, it kind of makes up for it. Overall, both gods are super tanky, and you can see just how similar they are when fully built. Another thing I would like to add, for as close as they are in both health and protections, this isn't even considering Lono's Mask on Fenrir, which reduces the damage he takes by 20%. So after everything is said and done, Fenrir is much tankier than Terra. Now, we aren't saying this is 100% perfect and that Fenrir support can work in every scenario.
But as of right now, he is the single most aggressive god for the support role.
And there are definitely different ways he can be played and built.
And not everyone can just run into a game and play him well.
But overall, you should embrace this new flex meta.
Because it just makes sense. After everything we've explained, we hope you understand how and why Fenrir support is so good right now. The math is all there. It just takes you or your teammates to make this happen. You're probably going to see tons of new and upcoming tier lists with pros and streamers alike listing him in S tier, and we're hoping now you know why that is.
Well, that's it for the video, and we really appreciate you guys for watching. If you would like more videos like these, let us know.
Or if you have something in mind you'd like to see us do, drop a like and a comment below and we'll definitely check those out. See ya!